On the afternoon of the 10th day of the lunar calendar, with the New Year's celebrations slowly fading, people often say that even after Tet, the spring spirit lingers. The atmosphere in Min and Gok village was still bustling, partly because people were still enjoying the holiday, and partly due to a long-standing village tradition. On the 13th day of the first lunar month each year, a grand ceremony was held at the communal temple. This annual event was, for the villagers, even more significant than Tet itself. They believed the village guardian deity was incredibly sacred and had, on numerous occasions, manifested to help them overcome disasters. He also blessed them with fair weather and abundant harvests, ensuring prosperity for all. To show their gratitude, the villagers organized a magnificent ceremony at the temple every year. This year, the festivities were even more elaborate because several wealthy timber merchant families in the village were making substantial contributions. The main ceremony wouldn't begin for another 3 days, but these families had already arranged to purchase 3 large buffaloes to be sacrificed and offered to the village guardian deity on the day of the ceremony. The meat would then be distributed among all the villagers. Children innocently played, their joyful shouts filling the air. They played traditional games like hide-and-seek or used clay pots and pans to mimic cooking. The scene was utterly peaceful. However, not everyone in Min and Gok village was cheerful. In a secluded corner near some ornamental plants in the temple courtyard, Quinn sat, breathing heavily. He reeked of cheap alcohol, a common smell during Tet, but Quinn wasn't drinking for joy, he was drinking to drown his sorrows. The reason for his gloom stemmed from a pre-Tet incident. He had quit his job, feeling exploited. Over the holiday, he'd gambled away the money he'd saved to switch jobs next year, losing everything. Driven by desperation, he'd even borrowed over 10 million dong from a loan shark, with a threat of double interest if he didn't repay it by the full moon of the first lunar month. Quinn's bad luck extended beyond money. He just had a terrible argument with his girlfriend, leading to a breakup. Bad luck in love, bad luck in money, Quinn was at rock bottom. Nearby, a few friends were also trying to drink away their sorrows, seemingly unaware of Quinn's looming troubles. A moment later, Quinn saw a figure approaching him. He looked up and recognized Mr. Turner, a prominent elder who lived near the temple. "Quinn, you're drunk. Go home and rest, son. Why are you sitting here? The wind is cold." Mr. Turner's voice was gentle. Quinn retorted in a slurred, irritable tone. "What's it to you if I die? It has nothing to do with you." "You ungrateful boy. It's the beginning of the year and you're talking about death. Aren't you afraid of jinxing yourself? It's terribly unlucky." "I'm already unlucky, no need to say it. Please just go away, Mr. Turner." Hearing Quinn's disrespectful words, Mr. Turner could only sigh. He turned to the children, reminding them to play carefully lest they fall, then took a broom from a corner and began sweeping the temple courtyard. Quinn sat a while longer before 2 of his friends arrived, inviting him for another round of drinks. By now, he could barely drink, but what else was there to do? At his friend's house, the group was complete. Quinn, Harry, Stella, Harry's girlfriend, and Liam, Harry's younger brother. They had been friends for a long time. Knowing of Quinn's woes, Harry poured him a drink and quietly offered comfort. "Quinn, winning and losing is part of the game. Don't be discouraged. I always thought Mona was a gold digger. When you had money, she was all sweet talk. Now that you're down on your luck, it's no surprise she left." Harry took a drag from his cigarette. Liam, sitting next to Quinn, chimed in, "Don't be discouraged, Quinn. There are plenty of other girls out there. I'll set you up with someone beautiful, gentle, and 10 times better than Mona." Liam nodded. "Yeah, Stella is a great matchmaker. Last year, I think she set up a friend of Harry's and now they're almost fighting, and they're about to have their first child." Quinn sighed. "Please, don't mention girls. I'm sick of it. I have no desire to pursue anyone right now." "Don't be so pessimistic, Quinn," Liam continued. "I have some advice for you. I think you should quit gambling. People say gambling is the father of poverty. You might win today, but eventually you'll lose. Then you'll try to win it back and sink even deeper. I'm not saying this to lecture you, but I don't want to see you go down the wrong path." Of course, Quinn wasn't in a state to listen to such advice, nor did he want to argue. All he wanted was to drink himself into a stupor and forget his sorrows. A while later, Mrs. Nora, Harry's mother, returned home from her errands. Seeing her son, she couldn't help but complain, always gathering here. This comment further dampened Quinn's already low spirits. Harry replied, Mom, Tet isn't over yet. We'll go back to work eventually. Let us enjoy ourselves with our friends. And what about your sons? Liam is rarely home. What danger is there out here anyway? I'm just saying, Mrs. Nora said. You're all drinking yourselves to death like your father. He's only in his 50s and already sick with all sorts of ailments. What good is that? When he's ill, it's a burden on his wife and children. Where have you been, Mom? Harry asked, changing the subject. I went to a meeting about the temple ceremony. The village is making it a really big event this year, son. Oh, really? Is it that big? Not just big, but there's also a plan to rebuild the temple after the first lunar month. So, we'll need contributions. But I remember people only asked for a few million dong, Harry said. His mother shook her head. No, this time, the construction won't require contributions from everyone. Mr. Hayes and 2 other wealthy families are taking care of it. All 3 families are handling it, Mom? Harry asked, surprised. That's a huge undertaking. Of course, those 3 families are timber merchants. One trip can earn them hundreds of millions, sometimes even $1 billion dong. 3 trips a year, and they're well off. They've just agreed that each family will contribute 200 million dong upfront, making it 600 million dong total, which they'll officially present at the ceremony in front of all the villagers. But Mom, 600 million dong, is that enough? If it's not enough, others will contribute. No need to worry. It's good that we have 3 such rich families. Liam, overhearing this, smirked. Some people have too much money, some have none at all. If I had that kind of money, I'd definitely make something of myself. We're just you, Liam, Harry said. If I had 600 million, the first thing I'd do is buy a new car to show off to the girls. His half-joking remark made everyone laugh. Mrs. Nora sighed, looking at her youngest son. You're all talk. Why don't you bring a girl home like Harry did, so I can have some peace? You're 22 already, Harry. How long are you going to be a bachelor? You need to settle down and focus on work. Mrs. Nora paused, realizing she might have overstepped with Quinn. She quickly changed the subject. All right, you boys keep chatting. I'm going inside to rest. I have another meeting this afternoon, and I'm exhausted. Yes, Mom, you should rest, Harry replied. After Mrs. Nora left, Liam muttered, Mom always nags me about bringing a girlfriend home, but I just like to have fun. It's not that I don't have a girlfriend, but bringing her home now would just cause all sorts of trouble. Harry heard this and said, You 2 are exactly alike. I had to convince Stella for ages before she agreed to meet Mom. Otherwise, we'd still be keeping it a secret. We're getting married next year, Liam. Who will you invite to your wedding? Harry continued to tease him. Quinn paid them no mind, pouring and drinking until his eyes blurred, and he eventually passed out. It wasn't until late evening that Quinn woke up. He groggily realized he was in Liam's bedroom. Recalling the evening's drinking, he got up and went outside. The first person Quinn saw was Liam, who cheerfully asked, Are you sober now? That's the first time I've seen you pass out like that on the table. How do you feel? Why don't you sleep more and get well? No, I should get going. I'm worried about my dad at home. Can I go back by myself or should you take me? No need, I can go by myself. Where are Harry and Stella, and your mom? They're probably still at the communal temple. What are they doing there? I heard someone else wants to contribute. Apparently, not just money, but a set of bronze ceremonial objects too. Everyone's curious to go see it. Quinn scoffed. Rich people always showing off. He checked the time. It was getting late. He grabbed his jacket and walked out, wandering along the village road. Initially, Quinn had no intention of seeing the ceremonial objects, but after a short walk, he overheard some people whispering and gossiping. Since his house wasn't far from the temple, he decided to head in that direction. Upon arriving, he was surprised to see a large crowd gathered in the temple courtyard. He lit a cigarette, took a deep drag, and let the smoke ward off the evening chill. After a while, Quinn learned the identity of the 4th tycoon. Calling him a tycoon might be an exaggeration, as it was Curtis, a man in his early 30s. Curtis used to live in the village but had moved to the city about 4 or 5 years ago. His sudden return and generous contribution seemed unbelievable to Quinn, who knew Curtis to be a very stingy person. Quinn suspected there was another motive behind this contribution. His suspicions seemed accurate when Curtis, in his speech, mentioned that his real estate company planned to acquire vacant land in the village next year to develop a farm. He promised to pay market price, but Quinn knew Curtis would undoubtedly pocket a hefty sum from this venture. Quinn muttered to himself, "These villagers are easily fooled, aren't they?" Indeed, the villagers weren't so easily swayed. Mr. Turner stepped out from the crowd and spoke up. "Fellow villagers and young Curtis here, I've been listening to you. If your intention is to contribute to the village, we welcome it. But matters concerning land and business should not be discussed here. Nobody here can make promises about that. If anyone wants to buy land for farming, they should approach the landowners directly. There are officials to handle such transactions. Villagers have sold land many times before. It's not new. There's no need for you to mediate." "That's right, he's absolutely right," the crowd echoed. Curtis's face flushed with embarrassment. "Mr. Turner, please don't think ill of me. My intention to contribute to the village temple is genuine. As for the land, I just wanted to sound out the villagers in advance, in case I needed help later." However, it was clear that no one was interested in Curtis's offer. Seeing there was nothing more to observe, Quinn finished his cigarette and quickly left. Back at home, the other family members were all asleep. Quinn didn't want to wake them up and face another lecture. He tiptoed into his small room and quickly fell into a deep sleep. The next afternoon, Quinn woke up to his father, Mr. Hayes, grumbling. "A grown man, always drinking and gambling, sleeping until noon. What have you accomplished?" Being scolded was nothing new to Quinn, but the accumulated frustration made him snap back instead of staying silent. "That's right, because I'm broke now, isn't it? When I had money and gave you a few million, you didn't say anything." "You insolent brat, how dare you talk back? Do you think I'm greedy for your money? Remember, you've eaten and lived here for years and you've only given me a few million. Do you think you own this house? If it weren't for your mother and me, you'd starve, wandering aimlessly on the streets." "Fine, you're the elder, you can say whatever you want. I lose," Quinn mumbled. He grabbed his jacket, a pack of cigarettes, and stormed out. Quinn headed to the coffee shop at the edge of the village. He hoped to enjoy a cup of coffee and a cigarette to forget his troubles. But as soon as he sat down, the owner called out, "Quinn, what do you want? Pay first? I don't give credit. It's the beginning of the month and you already owe me for 2 or 3 cups. I don't want to chase you, but you have to understand. The shop isn't busy, but there are still a few customers." Quinn was about to argue, but then he heard a voice from the next table. "Owner, put Quinn's coffee on my tab. It's not much, why make a fuss?" Quinn quickly recognized the speaker as Curtis. "No, you don't have to pay for me, Curtis. I just woke up and forgot my money. I'll go home and get it now. How much is it?" Curtis chuckled, picked up his coffee cup, stood up, and sat opposite Quinn. "How's life treating you?" "Just getting by." A moment later, the coffee was served. Quinn relaxed a bit, even taking a jab at Curtis. "So, how's that contribution and land deal going? I guess some idiot must have sabotaged it, right? Otherwise, why would the crowd turn on you and embarrass you like that?" "Quinn, are you still saying that? You don't know, do you? Mr. Turner, who spoke yesterday, his children are all in real estate. They know everything you're trying to do. They might even have influenced people before you did. No wonder whatever I said was dismissed. Damn it, he's really something." Quinn gave a sarcastic smile. "Curtis, how can you complain about losing money? You contributed $200 million and a bronze ceremonial set. Damn it, that's nearly $300 million lost, not counting the old man's insult. If you had asked me earlier, you wouldn't have lost that money. That money could have been invested with me and earned interest, not been lost." "Invest in what with you? Gambling, that's no different from losing everything. I would have rather given it to the temple than to you." Quinn smirked, not forgetting to remind him, "Don't forget to pay for the coffee, as you promised." Curtis didn't reply. He simply walked to the counter, paid, and left. Quinn didn't care, trying to enjoy the moment of peace. Otherwise, he'd be scolded again when he got home. About an hour later, Curtis unexpectedly returned. Did you forget something? Curtis shook his head. He approached Quinn, scanning the surroundings. He whispered, Quinn, I need your help with something. If you succeed, you'll get a reward you won't believe. What is it? It sounds serious. I'm afraid I can't do it. No, I think you're the only one in this village who can do it. Tell me what it is. We can't talk here, there are too many ears. Let's go somewhere quiet. Quinn initially thought Curtis was joking, but then he noticed Curtis's serious expression. He stood up, chugged the rest of his coffee, and went outside. Quinn got on Curtis's motorbike, and they rode to a deserted plot of land by the river. It's deserted enough here, Curtis said. Quinn, what I'm about to tell you, whether you agree or not, must remain a secret. What is it? Sounds like you're dealing drugs. I don't get involved in that stuff. I only gamble. Are you crazy? It's not that bad. I want you to help me get back what I've lost. What do you mean? The money you contributed and the bronze ceremonial set. I want them back. Then what's the big deal? You just need to go to the village temple, talk to the elders, and ask for it back. The construction hasn't started yet, and the money is still there. If I do that, they'll mock me. Besides, I don't just want my contribution back. I want all the money from the other 3 families too. Quinn quickly realized Curtis's intention. Don't tell me you want to steal it. Yes, I want to steal it, and you're the one I trust most to do this. Quinn chuckled. The village temple, do you know how serious it is to steal from there? What if someone finds out? It's a huge crime. I'm telling you, if we succeed, besides my money, I'll only take a small portion of the rest. Most of it will be yours. I just don't want to lose money, and I want those wealthy families in the village to lose face. At least they won't dare to contribute again. You're a cunning one, Curtis. But seriously, the village temple is heavily guarded. It's not easy to get inside, let alone steal anything. What if I have a way to get you the key? Can you do it? A key, how would you get it? You don't need to know how. As long as I give you a key that can open the back door of the village temple, are you in? That's getting interesting, and I also know where the money is kept. It's in a small safe under the altar. The safe has a tiny padlock. Just bring a pair of pliers and you can break it. Right now, there's only my 200 million asterisk dong there, but after the ceremony, there will be another 600 million from the 3 families. So, do you want to join me in this venture? If we succeed, I think that money will be enough for you to gamble and live extravagantly. You could even restart your life, start a business, and have plenty of capital. Quinn's eyes widened. Hearing about the large sum of money and Curtis's meticulous planning, greed began to surge within him. He stammered, Is that true, Curtis? You're not lying to me, are you? Why would I lie to you? If this gets out, I'll lose even more than you. So, are you in or not? If not, I'll find someone else. Okay, I'm in. Good, with your help, it's 80% sure. But remember, absolute secrecy. No one must know. Otherwise, if it's exposed, no one can bear the consequences. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone, even if I die. But when do you plan to start? On the day of the temple ceremony, after everyone has feasted. By then, everyone will be drunk. With the key in your hand, you can walk in as if no one's there. Quick and clean. Your house is near the temple too, so no one will suspect anything. All right, it's a deal. When will you give me the key? Slow down, I'll give it to you right before the operation. Remember, it's a spare key. You don't need to return it after use. Hide it well. My goal is to make those people lose everything and turn on each other. It'll be a fun show. All right, go home now. And don't contact or talk to me for a while to avoid suspicion. When I have the key, I'll call you. Got it, Quinn waved at Curtis, then walked back to the coffee shop. He sat there until late afternoon when hunger pangs drove him to leave. He was about to head home to find something to eat, but as he wandered along the road, he heard a voice call out, Quinn, Quinn. It didn't take Quinn long to realize it was Liam. What is it, Liam? Where have you been since morning? I didn't see you at the coffee shop. Have you eat? This morning, I was playing cards with some guys from the next village. They're pretty good, but I don't know how I managed to clean them out. I have about 2 million asterisk dong on me right now. Here, take half. What would I take it for? It's your money, you won it fairly. What are you talking about? We've been friends for years. I consider you my older brother. Harry is well off, but you've been having a tough time lately. Consider this a little luck for you. Who knows, maybe you'll win big too." Liam took out his wallet and handed Quinn two 500,000 dong notes. Quinn was deeply touched by his generosity. He then remembered the plan with Curtis. He looked around furtively and whispered, "Liam, I have a deal I want to bring you in on. Are you interested?" "What kind of deal? I'm listening." "It's not about gambling or cards. This one is a bit complicated and dangerous." "What is it? You're making it sound serious and I'm curious. Are we going to steal something, Quinn? I'm a decent villager, not a thief." "No, it's not stealing. Not exactly." "Are you serious?" "Completely serious." "Stealing from whose house? We need to be careful or we'll end up in jail. Are you that desperate that you're considering this?" "Not desperate, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's like taking things from an empty house, you know." "I don't understand what you're saying. Can you be clearer?" "Do you remember the contributions for our village temple? Yesterday, Curtis contributed 200 million dong and a bronze ceremonial set. But there are complicated reasons why he wants me to get his contribution back." The more Liam listened, the more confused he became. It wasn't until Quinn explained in detail that he finally understood. "So, you agreed to work with Curtis?" "Of course, I agreed. Why wouldn't I? It's too good an opportunity to pass up. I was planning to do it alone because the fewer people who know, the better. But I just saw how kind and loyal you are, like a true brother. If it's just about the money, it's one thing. But there's also the ceremonial set. I need someone to help me carry it. Do you want to do it? Don't worry, the money will be divided fairly." Liam was silent for a moment, then nodded. "Okay, I'm in, but we have to keep it a secret. What if you tell Harry and Stella?" "I can trust Harry, but Stella, I'm not so sure. If it gets out, we're dead, brother." "Don't worry, I'll stick with you through thick and thin. We'll face life and death together. It's good to have a trustworthy brother like you. Now, for now, let's both go home and keep this secret. I'll contact you on the right day and we'll act." "Got it, brother." The conversation ended there. Quinn then reached for the 1 million dong Liam had given him, but Liam pushed it back into his hand. "Take it, brother. I know we're about to strike it rich, but until then, you need some money for daily expenses." Quinn had no choice but to accept. His newfound excitement was quickly shattered. Mr. Hayes continued to nag him. "Are you going to leave for good? Why are you back? I was looking for you earlier to help with chores. You're so lazy." Quinn wanted to retort but thought better of it. He silently vowed to himself, "Just wait until I have money, then I'll change my life and you won't be able to nag me anymore." Time flew by, and soon it was the 13th day of the lunar month, the day of the grand temple ceremony. From early morning, villagers gathered. The men set up tents, arranged tables and chairs, and swept the courtyard. The women prepared the food. The 3 large buffaloes had been slaughtered at dawn. Mr. Turner and the other village elders, dressed in traditional robes and turbans, looked as if they had stepped out of an ancient film. Quinn, Liam, and Curtis were also present, of course. Only the 3 of them knew about the plan to be carried out that night. For now, they had to participate in the ceremony like everyone else. The ceremony lasted from early afternoon until dusk. Nearly 20 tables were spread across the temple courtyard. Laughter and chatter filled the air. Once everyone was settled, Mr. Turner stood on the highest step, raising a hand for silence. "Fellow villagers, the temple ceremony has been a great success. Now, before we all raise our cups for a toast, I would like to take a moment to call out the names of the benefactors who have contributed money and goods to our temple's upcoming renovation project." One by one, representatives from the 3 wealthy families came forward. The last was Curtis. He still wore a gentle smile, bowing to the villagers. After all the introductions, Mr. Turner collected the money and carried it inside the temple to store. Outside, whispers began. Some people joked, "I wonder if Mr. Turner keeps the money in the temple or takes it home." "Don't say that," others countered. "Mr. Turner has always been trustworthy, and this time it's witnessed by everyone in the village. Would he really steal it?" Quinn chimed in, "Who knows? You can't trust anyone in this life. No matter what, I don't believe anyone. If the contributors aren't trustworthy, then don't contribute. Don't make suggestions, or you'll just cause suspicion and bad blood. That's right, let's eat. We must have a hearty meal today. From tomorrow, we'll be back to work. No more days of carefree eating and playing like these past few days. After Mr. Turner returned from storing the money, the banquet officially began. Quinn and Liam drank, but only moderately, cleverly pouring out most of their drinks. Around 7 p.m., Quinn stumbled to his feet, feigning exhaustion and slurred, "I'm going home. Can't drink anymore." Some of his table mates waved him off. "Be careful, don't end up on the wrong road and meet some girl, poor thing." Quinn gave a wry smile. "Poor thing, I'm the poor one, not them." Across the table, Liam stood up, looked around, and then the two of them staggered out, pretending to be very drunk. Their next destination was Quinn's house. According to the original plan, they were supposed to go to Liam's house and wait until midnight to carry out the theft. However, circumstances had changed favorably. Mr. Hayes had to go visit his relatives on his mother's side and wouldn't return until tomorrow afternoon. This meant Quinn could bring Liam home, and they could steal from the temple at midnight without any close family members seeing them. The next morning, they would simply pretend to have slept at Quinn's house all night, ensuring no suspicion. Back home, Quinn locked the door and both dropped their act. "Are you drunk, Liam?" Quinn asked. "I didn't drink much, so don't worry. You remember the plan, right? The back door." "I remember. I think we're going to hit it big this time." I observed everyone. It looked like even Mr. Turner had his grandchildren take him home. At midnight, we can go out, and we won't even see a single person on the road, let alone get caught. Don't be overconfident. I've been checking the terrain since morning. We won't take the main road. We'll follow the path along my house, cross the rice field, and then sneak into the temple through the back door. But remember to watch your step. Don't step in too much mud and leave footprints. Otherwise, Mr. Turner will be furious. I know, don't worry." Once again, Quinn told Liam to rest on the bed while he opened a small drawer in his room and took out a key. This was the spare key Curtis had given him. A few more hours passed. Finally, unable to wait any longer, Quinn woke Liam. Both drank water to sober up. Quinn meticulously prepared 2 pairs of shoes, both a size larger than their usual footwear, and gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints. He didn't want the police investigating the theft to find any evidence. They crept along the narrow path, approaching the back wall of the temple. The wall was old and cracked, so with a simple boost, they easily climbed over. Once inside the temple grounds, Quinn scanned the surroundings. All the doors were locked. The tarpaulin from the afternoon's banquet was still there, but the tables and chairs had been cleared away. After about 10 minutes, satisfied that no one was around, Quinn signaled Liam to follow him. They headed to the back door of the temple. Quinn quickly inserted the key into the lock. What followed unfolded exactly as Quinn had planned. He handed Liam the bag he was carrying, instructing him to put the bronze ceremonial objects inside. Quinn then used the bolt cutters to break the padlock of the money chest. Inside were stacks of crisp, new 500,000 dong notes. Quinn wanted to shout with joy, but suppressed his excitement. He quickly put the money into the bag he carried. With a wink to Liam, they exited through the same way, diligently erasing their footprints. When they were near his house, Quinn told Liam to take off his shoes. Both crouched behind a grassy patch and walked carefully, ensuring no footprints were left. Back at his house, Quinn put both pairs of shoes and the gloves into a plastic bag and buried it under a banana tree in the garden. At exactly 1 a.m., the two sat on the bed, looking at their spoils, the bronze ceremonial objects and 800 million dong in cash. Liam couldn't contain his excitement. "I can't believe we did it. We're rich." Of course, as per my agreement with Curtis, about 200 million and his ceremonial objects are for him. Of the remaining 600 million, 100 million is for him and 500 million is for us. We'll split it. Split it with me, really? I just followed your lead. You arranged everything. You should get a much larger share. No matter how much or how little, we've faced life and death together, brother. You consider me your older brother, so you must accept this. No arguments. Thank you, brother. One more thing, Liam. For now, don't spend this money. If you want to buy anything, wait until things cool down, or pretend you won the lottery to legitimize this money. Do you understand? I understand. Can you hold on to my share of the money for me? I don't know where to keep it at my place. All right. If you need anything, just ask me and I'll give it to you. You can't spend too much, but 500 million is plenty. Now, let's celebrate a bit. Celebrate now. Yes, we have liquor, meat, and various cold cuts in the fridge from Tet. We haven't eaten them yet. Besides, we need to be truly drunk so people believe us tomorrow. Ah, that's right, we need to drink a lot. Liam had been suppressing his discomfort. Quinn chuckled. A little later, they laid out the liquor and meat. They feasted until 5 a.m., then stumbled back to their rooms to sleep. After about half an hour of sleep, the drunkenness plunged Quinn into a hazy dream. He found himself tied up in the temple courtyard, surrounded by a large crowd. However, their attire was strange. They wore shining armor like characters from ancient films. As Quinn wondered what to do, a figure stepped forward, pulled out a long whip, and began to lash his stomach, tearing at his flesh. Quinn screamed in agony. This torture continued until he couldn't bear it anymore and passed out. Quinn, wake up. He didn't know how long he had been asleep. Quinn was jolted awake by a loud voice. He hadn't even opened his eyes fully, just mumbled, "Who is it? What's going on?" Damn it, wasn't eating at the temple enough. Now you've made a mess here at home. If you have the energy to party, you should have the energy to clean up. Quinn now recognized his father's familiar grumbling. Last night, after drinking, Quinn was too lazy to clean up, figuring he'd do it when he woke up. He looked next to him. Liam was still fast asleep, seemingly undisturbed by the commotion. Quinn sighed, got out of bed, and saw the clock showed noon. He walked into the living room, still yawning. "What's the big deal, Dad? I was drunk and didn't have time to clean up. I'll clean it now, you don't have to." "What? You expect me to clean up after you? Don't even dream about it. And who did you bring home that left their shoes outside?" "It's Liam, who else? We came back from the temple yesterday. We were both still a bit sad, and since we had leftover liquor and cold cuts, we decided to drink. Anyway, you're right, I'll clean up now. You have somewhere to go." Mr. Hayes's words startled Quinn. "What are you doing, Dad? Didn't you drink enough yesterday?" "I don't know. On my way back, I saw a crowd of villagers gathered by the temple. I think the police are there too. I have some things in the car, so I came home first. I'm going back to see what's going on now. Did anyone get into a fight last night?" "No one fought, Dad. Or maybe Liam and I did, but that's common. Just clean up, all right. If the house isn't tidy when I get back, you'll regret it." "Don't worry, Dad. With only a few sons, you've chased me out several times already. You're old now. Who will take care of you?" "I don't need you to worry about my old age. I've had good karma for 3 generations. I'm not going to argue with you anymore." Mr. Hayes walked out. After his father left, Quinn went back to the living room and asked quietly, "Liam, wake up." It took a moment for Liam to respond. He frowned. "Brother, let me sleep a bit more, I'm so sleepy." "Something happened at the temple, Liam." It took a while for Liam to fully come to. He quickly sat up. "What did you say? Did we get caught?" "Caught? What's caught? Calm down. They say they don't know yet what happened. People are gathered there, whispering. You go out and listen. Remember to act oblivious like you always do. Don't do anything to arouse suspicion." "But why aren't you going, brother?" "I'm too emotional for this. I want to go, but I need to clean up this battlefield of mine. You go quickly. The sooner we know, the better we can react." "Yes, I understand. I'm going now." After a few more instructions, Quinn opened the door for Liam. He had tried to reassure Liam, but Quinn himself felt no anxiety. In fact, he was even thinking about what to do if the police caught wind of it and how he would escape. However, his worries seemed unnecessary. A little while later, Liam returned. "Quinn, brother." "Yes, what is it? Is there trouble?" "There's trouble, but it doesn't involve us. Specifically," Liam, still breathless, reported that when he arrived at the temple, the crowd was whispering. They believed the theft was too elaborate. No forced entry, meaning the thief must have had a key. And in the entire village, only Mr. Turner was entrusted with that key. These groundless suspicions angered Mr. Turner's family, and combined with the villagers' complaints, the atmosphere quickly turned chaotic. Someone in the crowd even shouted that Mr. Turner was behind it all. Mr. Turner, you stole $1 billion dong? That's too much. Greed got the better of you. How dare you accuse me? I'll sue you for defamation. But the accusations continued to fly, forcing the police to disperse the crowd. Hearing Liam's account, Quinn smirked. Just as Curtis and I planned. Excellent, but don't get complacent. Keep listening and maintain absolute secrecy. Of course, I'll clean up now. Let's go out and celebrate later, brother. No, I've had enough alcohol for a few days. My face is pale, my head is spinning. What's so serious, brother? You don't know. Maybe the money has issues. Just go home. If you hear anything, report it quickly. I understand. Take care of yourself, brother. Just then, Mr. Hayes returned. Stop talking, Liam, Quinn said, bowing his head. Hello, Mr. Hayes. Having no particular affection for his son's friends, Mr. Hayes merely grunted and walked past. As for Quinn, despite hearing Liam's story, he still asked his father for a recount. Mr. Hayes's version largely matched Liam's. Quinn then whispered, So, Dad, who do you think stole the money? There's no concrete evidence, just baseless suspicion. But I think the culprit must be someone from the village. Only then would they know the layout and everything. Quinn nodded in agreement. Exactly. It's truly miserable to be poor, but it seems having money can be miserable too, Dad. I don't see any rich people suffering. It's only people like you who are poor that suffer. So when are you going to get a proper job to make a living? Are you going to spend your whole life drinking and gambling? I didn't say anything during Tet, but it's already the 14th now. I'm going back to work. Quinn nodded. I've decided, Dad. I'm going to the town. I'll work at a furniture factory, similar to the timber business. The salary is good and the environment is professional. I'll earn at least 10 million dong a month. The reason I didn't tell you earlier was because I wanted to be sure before announcing it, but since you mentioned it, I don't want to hide it anymore. Hearing Quinn's words, Mr. Hayes was overjoyed. He slammed his hand on the living room table and poured a glass of tea. He mumbled, You see, your mother works her fingers to the bone, busy with outside sales. She only gets to rest until the 3rd day of Tet before she has to go back to work. I don't have enough strength to help your mother much now. Now that you're grown, you can take care of yourself. In another 5 or 10 years, if we're lucky, it's one thing. But what if your mother and I are no longer here? Dad, don't say such things. I know, don't worry. I will definitely succeed and become rich. Don't speak too soon. I just need you to be hardworking and focused on earning a living. Food, clothes, a good night's sleep after a day's work, that's real peace. Mr. Hayes was about to say more, but a sudden stomach pain struck him. He winced and rushed downstairs. Downstairs, Quinn bent over the sink and began to vomit violently. But there was nothing left from last night's meal, just a little saliva mixed with yellow bile. After vomiting, Quinn felt weak. Mr. Hayes looked at his son intently. You drank yourself silly, and now you have a stomach ache. See, you never listened to me. What will you do when you get sick? No amount of money can buy back your health. Quinn didn't reply, or rather, he had no strength to. He just shook his head and mumbled something, then went back to his room. As soon as he lay down on the bed, he felt his whole body ache as if he'd been beaten. The dull pain wasn't just in his stomach, it had spread to his arms and legs. He pulled the blanket up to his neck, trying to close his eyes and fall asleep, hoping the pain would be gone when he woke up. But before his wish could come true, Quinn had a second consecutive nightmare. He dreamed he was tied up in the temple courtyard again, surrounded by the same strange people in ancient armor. They stared at him as if judging him. He didn't need to guess what would happen next. The whip was raised and lashed down on Quinn's body. He felt his skin tear and screamed in pain, tears streaming down his face. It hurts so much. Stop. But it didn't stop there. Quinn heard a piercing scream nearby. He looked towards the corner of the courtyard and was shocked to see Curtis. Curtis was being strangled with a rope by a man in armor. The scream was Curtis's final sound before he went limp. The man released the rope, and Curtis's lifeless body slumped to the ground. Witnessing this, Quinn turned pale with fear. He knew he might be next to suffer Curtis's fate, and indeed, the armored man with the rope in his hand began to approach. Quinn thrashed and struggled. Just as he felt a hand shaking him awake, Quinn jolted upright. His eyes wide with terror, he looked around wildly, still screaming, No, don't touch me. It took a moment for Quinn to realize Mr. Hayes was shaking him. He stammered, Dad, what happened? I had a dream that someone was beating me." "A dream? I've had enough of you. Drinking and gambling until your mind is a mess. Please sober up, son. It's almost evening. Get up and help with dinner. From today on, I forbid you from touching alcohol or gambling again." Quinn didn't need Mr. Hayes to remind him. He genuinely didn't want to drink anymore. Mr. Hayes then seemed to remember something. "Oh, by the way, Curtis came looking for you earlier." Quinn frowned. What did he want? "I don't know. He came to the gate, looking furtive, asking if you were home. I told him you were still asleep. Before I could ask anything else, he just turned and left, probably drinking and gambling with you. He's not a decent person either. I heard the villagers whispering that he contributed to the temple, but he's secretly trying to get people to sell him land at cheap prices. I think he's eyeing our garden plot. You need to be alert, don't listen to his temptations." "Yes, I know," Quinn nodded, but he understood that Curtis hadn't come about land. A while later, after washing his face, Quinn changed his clothes and headed out. "Where are you going, son?" "Just out for a bit. I'll be right back. I won't be out late." "I know, I'm just going out for a bit," Quinn said, then hopped on his motorbike and rode off. He rode to the small house at the end of the village where Curtis lived. Quinn saw Curtis's motorbike parked in the yard. The house door wasn't locked, so he figured Curtis was inside. He didn't bother to call out, just walked straight in. Standing in the living room, he looked around. "Curtis? Curtis." Still no reply. He was about to turn back when he heard a dog barking in the back. Curtis must be out there, he thought. Quinn followed the side hallway, but what he saw there horrified him. Curtis's body hanging lifelessly from a tree branch, while a dog, probably a neighbor's, barked incessantly. Quinn screamed, "Help, help." Hearing his cries, a few neighbors began to trickle over. "What's wrong? Who needs help?" Quinn was so scared his tongue was tied. He could only point towards the backyard. Now it was the neighbor's turn to look horrified. "Oh my God, he hanged himself. Curtis." Within half an hour, Curtis's small backyard was filled with people, all trying to get a look at the crime scene. The police were now handling the case. Quinn, as the first person to discover Curtis's body, was detained for questioning. He was still in shock, barely able to say anything beyond incoherent nods. Unable to extract any further information from Quinn, the officer allowed him to go home. Quinn was still reeling. Mr. Hayes, seeing his son's state, refrained from scolding him, fearing it would only add to his distress. At 7 p.m., dinner was served, but Quinn sat motionless, not touching his chopsticks. Mr. Hayes served his son rice and said, "Eat your rice, son. It's getting cold." When Quinn didn't reply, his father called out again, "Quinn, son." Quinn flinched, his eyes wide and bloodshot. Mr. Hayes recoiled. "What's wrong with you, son?" his father asked worriedly. Quinn's eyes returned to normal. "Nothing, Dad, just eat." Quinn picked up his rice bowl and quickly devoured it. "What's wrong with you? Eat slowly, you'll choke." Quinn shook his head, gave a strange, inexplicable smile and stood up, walking straight to his room. Mr. Hayes was, of course, concerned by his son's behavior, but he assumed Quinn hadn't recovered from the shock of the afternoon and his mind was unstable. So he decided to let his son rest. As he was about to return to dinner, a voice called from outside, "Is Quinn home?" Mr. Hayes stood up, his eyes narrowed as he called out, "Who is it?" "It's Officer Tom, the village police officer. You know about what happened to Curtis in our village this afternoon, right? You were the first witness. We tried to get information from you, but your mental state seemed unstable. I've come back to ask a few more questions." "Ask what? He's still not himself. I've been trying to distract him from this. Please just leave. If you need anything, wait until he's stable. Besides, I think Curtis committed suicide. My son just witnessed it. How is he involved?" "That needs further investigation, and there's a reason for these questions. It's not just random." "What reason?" Officer Tom paused, then continued. From Curtis's autopsy, the forensic team found many injuries on his body, as if he had been beaten with a whip. And several witnesses near Curtis's house couldn't confirm if he had fought or had any altercations with anyone. Furthermore, we gathered information that Curtis hadn't lived in the village for a while. He only returned for Tet to contribute to the village. And during those days, your son was one of the people he frequently interacted with. So, to clarify the origin of the injuries on Curtis's body, we definitely need to ask your son more questions. It's a complicated matter. What's complicated? If you want to ask me. Curtis used to hang out with my son and the other young men in the village. Now that he's back, it's normal for young people to meet, drink coffee, and drink beer. Are you going to use that as an excuse to link my son to his death? Officer Tom quickly replied, "No, Mr. Hayes, I didn't mean that. It's just part of our job. We have to gather all relevant information. If your son's mental state isn't stable, then I'll leave for now. I'll come back later." "You should leave now." As Mr. Hayes was about to close the main door, Quinn emerged from inside. He wanted to ask about Curtis. Mr. Hayes was surprised. "Son, why aren't you resting? What are you doing out here?" "I'm fine, Dad. Officer, what do you want to ask? I'll answer." "Ah, young man. I already spoke with your father earlier this afternoon. Now I want to ask, did you interact and talk with Curtis a lot these past few days?" "Yes, we had coffee together." "Do you know if Curtis had any arguments or altercations with anyone recently?" "No, I don't remember." Quinn's answer was still a shake of his head. Mr. Hayes, a bit disappointed, grumbled, "Are you done asking questions, officer? Leave now so my son and I can have some peace." "Yes, Mr. Hayes, goodbye for now." As Officer Tom left, Mr. Hayes locked the main door securely. This is troublesome. Always bringing trouble, not even relatives or friends, just trouble. As Mr. Hayes finished speaking, he suddenly heard his son's muffled laughter. He turned to look, intending to ask, but saw Quinn walking back to his room. "If you're tired, rest early. Tomorrow, stay home. Don't go out and cause more trouble. If anyone comes for late tech greetings, you'll need to greet them." Silence. Mr. Hayes sighed sadly, mumbled a few words, and walked back to his room. As soon as he lay down, sleep quickly overtook him. But this sleep was not peaceful. Not long after lying down, he heard a rustling sound. "What's that sound?" Mr. Hayes began to look towards the direction of the noise. It didn't take him long to realize it was his son, Quinn. Quinn was tied up, hands and feet, by a group of men in black clothes who dragged him across the floor. "What are you doing to my son? Let him go." He reached out to rescue his son. Just then, one of the men in black turned to look at Mr. Hayes. He was even more horrified because the person's face, no, it couldn't be called a person. It was just a skull with two glowing red eyes. This was the first time Mr. Hayes had witnessed such a terrifying sight. With a mere wave of the hand from the mysterious figure, Mr. Hayes was thrown backward. Quinn was still screaming, "Dad, Dad, help me." Mr. Hayes lunged forward to save his son, and then he woke up with a start. His eyes wide, he stared at the wall of his bedroom. "It was a dream, just a dream," he mumbled to himself, but he quickly ran out to find Quinn. When he reached the living room, he breathed a sigh of relief, seeing his son sitting by the table and chairs. "You're up so early, son?" Mr. Hayes asked. Quinn turned, a smile on his face. "I've had enough sleep. Why aren't you sleeping more, Dad? It's still very early." "Sleep? What sleep? Get up now and help your mother with her business. How are you feeling? Are you okay?" "I'm fine, strong as a buffalo." Mr. Hayes looked at his son again and truly believed that what he had just experienced was just a nightmare. He brushed his teeth, washed his face, ate a quick breakfast of instant noodles, and then got in his car and drove off. Before leaving the house, he didn't forget to warn his son not to go out and play. Quinn replied with a faint smile and a wave. But for some reason, Mr. Hayes felt a burning sensation in his stomach, a churning like fire. Halfway there, he had a bad feeling and turned back. When he arrived home, he saw the door was bolted from the inside. He was somewhat relieved to see Quinn's shoes and motorbike still in the corner of the yard. But to be sure, he called out, "Quinn, Quinn." No reply. Mr. Hayes patiently called again, but still no response. The apprehension in his heart grew. He rushed to the door, called out, and knocked. "Quinn, Quinn." And then, when he peered through the crack in the door, he was horrified by what he saw, Quinn's body convulsing, hanging from a rope tied to the ceiling beam. Mr. Hayes acted purely on instinct. He gritted his teeth, threw himself against the bolted door with all his might, and the door burst open. He rushed inside. The first thing he did was lift his son's feet to keep him from suffocating. Quinn, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy, son? Just then, Quinn looked up and his eyes met his father's, but the gaze evoked a somewhat familiar scene. Quinn's eyes were bloodshot red, exactly like the strange, black-clothed figure in Mr. Hayes's dream. Quinn even smiled. "Oh my God, Quinn, is anyone here? Help my son." Luckily, it seemed the neighbors hadn't left for work yet. Hearing Mr. Hayes's cries, several men rushed over. With the help of 4 men, Mr. Hayes finally managed to get his son down from the rope. Quinn wasn't just smiling now, he was struggling violently, his strength unnaturally powerful. It took 4 men holding his arms and legs to finally restrain him in a chair. The situation was getting worse. Mr. Hayes untied the rope from the ceiling beam and then used it to tie Quinn to the chair. Now that Quinn was secured, the curious neighbors asked Mr. Hayes, "Mr. Hayes, what's wrong with your son? Did he try to take his own life?" Mr. Hayes was distraught because he didn't know the reason himself. It didn't stop there. As he tried to calm down, he noticed something strange under his son's shirt. Curious, he pulled Quinn's shirt open. What was revealed next shocked not only Mr. Hayes, but also the neighbors. Quinn's body was covered in injuries, as if he had been whipped. Mr. Hayes immediately thought of Curtis's death. Or rather, if he had returned a little later, his son might have suffered the same fate. Nearly 2 hours passed, but Quinn's condition did not improve. He still struggled to break free from the rope, continuously letting out chilling, mocking laughter. The neighbors then whispered to Mr. Hayes, "Mr. Hayes, I think your son is possessed. Why don't you call a shaman to take a look?" Mr. Hayes was confused. He replied, "For generations, my family hasn't believed in such things. I don't know any shaman. I heard there's a Master Thomas in the next village who's very skilled. Why don't you go ask him? As the saying goes, if you're sick, seek medical help." Mr. Hayes didn't hesitate. He asked the neighbors to help watch his son while he asked for directions to Master Thomas's house. Upon arrival, he explained the situation. Master Thomas agreed to accompany him back. When they returned and saw Quinn, Master Thomas immediately exclaimed, "This boy is heavily possessed. You are possessed by a ghost. We need to perform an exorcism immediately." "Yes, please help me, Master. But I must warn you, the ritual will be expensive. It requires many offerings and a large fee." "How much, Master?" 10 million asterisk dong asterisk. If the case is severe and complicated, it will cost 2 or even 3 times more, including many rare rituals. Mr. Hayes didn't have that much cash on hand, and the amount Master Thomas asked for was significant, but he had no other choice and nodded. A little later, an altar was set up. Master Thomas, holding a bronze sword, chanted incantations, performing various gestures, but Quinn remained seated calmly in the chair. After finishing the incantation, Master Thomas gritted his teeth, pointed at Quinn, and shouted, "Which ghost are you? Speak. Why are you possessing this young man? If you don't leave, don't blame me for calling the Holy Spirits. The Village Guardian Deity is mighty and fearsome. Don't say I didn't warn you then." Quinn chuckled mockingly. "Do you know who I am? Who are you? Speak. Do you know who the Village Guardian Deity is? Don't argue with me. Tonight I'll show you what it means to be stolen from." He reached into his bag and pulled out a talisman. But before he could perform the next step, Master Thomas suddenly tensed up, his mouth agape, eyes rolling back. Mr. Hayes, standing nearby, looked worried. "Master, what's wrong, Master?" Master Thomas didn't reply immediately. More accurately, he didn't have time to. Almost instantly, his wrist was violently twisted by an unseen force. He cried out in pain, and the talisman fell to the ground. "You insolent demon, you dare to pose as a god and deceive people? Leave this instant." The tables quickly turned. Master Thomas clutched his wrist and stumbled backward, frantically chanting prayers. Mr. Hayes and the neighbors were terrified. The demon possessing Quinn is very powerful. It even harmed Master Thomas. How terrifying. Mr. Hayes knelt, clasping his hands together. "I beg you, whatever Holy Spirit you are, please spare my son. What sin has he committed?" "He has committed a great sin. He dared to touch the sacred objects of the communal temple. Do you know that once those objects are offered, anyone who defiles them will suffer a terrible fate? Death won't be enough. Like Curtis, who suffered daily beatings and torture from my subordinates, living a life worse than death. And after death, he will wish to die many more times." "Oh my God, is there some mistake? "My son, what does he have to do with the temple's objects?" "Don't believe it. Go to his room, open his wardrobe, and you'll see." Mr. Hayes looked at his son's room, following the instruction. When the bag from under the wardrobe was brought out, everyone gasped. Inside was all the cash and the bronze ceremonial objects, everything that had been stolen from the temple a few days ago. "Oh my God, this means Quinn. Son, why did you do such a heinous thing?" Mrs. Nora, who had just arrived with Harry and Liam, whom Harry had found wandering in a daze, seemingly suffering a similar fate to Quinn, collapsed to the ground. "Namo Amitabha Buddha, I beg you, please spare my son and Quinn. They must have been instigated, or if it's too difficult, I will take their punishment. Please don't take my son." Quinn's eyes, now bloodshot, spoke in a deep, booming voice like thunder. "Liam can be spared, but Quinn will be difficult. He is destined to serve the Village Guardian Deity. I can only use his body as a vessel for this reason. As for Liam, he must go home and prepare an offering to bring to the temple immediately." Mr. Hayes was even more frantic. He prostrated himself. "Oh, Village Guardian Deity, please forgive us. The Village Guardian Deity always says, 'Children bear the burden of their parents.' Please don't take him. My wife and I only have one son, or I am willing to take his place. Will that do?" "No, it is the law of the temple. Besides, I am not the Village Guardian Deity, but only a judge under his command. I have decided. You have 3 days to prepare. I will come to take him." As soon as he finished speaking, Quinn's body convulsed, his eyes wide and vacant. When the convulsions stopped, he weakly mumbled, "Dad, why am I here? Dad, why are you tying me up?" Mr. Hayes struggled to his feet, tears streaming down his face. He cradled his son, who was acting like a frightened child. "You ungrateful son, why did you do such a thing?" "What are you saying, Dad? Why are you?" Quinn screamed, then noticed the bag of money and the bronze ceremonial objects on the floor. "What are these doing here, Dad?" "I know everything you did, Quinn. You were so foolish, son. How dare you touch the temple's sacred objects?" And when Quinn was told that he would have to pay the ultimate price in 3 days, he was filled with overwhelming fear. "Dad, help me. I don't want to die, Dad." That afternoon, Mr. Hayes returned the money and ceremonial objects to the temple. He also asked Mr. Turner and the other elders to offer a special prayer for his son. In the spirit of village solidarity, when the villagers learned of Quinn's theft, they were angry, but no one wanted to see an elder bury their child. So, for 2 consecutive nights, Mr. Turner and everyone else gathered at the temple to pray for Quinn. As for Quinn, the knowledge of his impending death tormented him day and night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw a crowd rushing to drag him away. He stopped eating, stopped sleeping, becoming gaunt and lifeless. And then, whether it was due to Quinn's repentance or the fervent prayers of the village elders, a miracle occurred. On the 3rd night, Mr. Hayes dreamed of a tall figure standing at his door, not to take Quinn away, but to announce a temporary reprieve. In return, Quinn had to perform good deeds at the temple and never again succumb to greed. Mr. Hayes was overjoyed because Quinn also reported having a similar dream. Freed from the shadow of death, Quinn transformed in the following days. He no longer touched alcohol or gambled. Instead, he dedicated himself to hard work. In his free time, Quinn was always at the temple, sweeping, cleaning, and helping with communal tasks. 2 years later, Quinn now had a stable job. He was also preparing to marry a girl from the village. As people say, in blessing there is misfortune, and in misfortune there is blessing. It was those turbulent events that had made Quinn the mature man he was today. He became a living example for the young men in the village, steering clear of vices and bad habits. And for himself, Quinn occasionally revisited those terrifying memories to ensure he would never make the same mistakes again. Min and Gok village continued to thrive, peaceful and developing day by day.